All right, hey guys, welcome to the Tactical Edge, Maverick Tactical's first episode of our podcast, a little longer version of our YouTube channel. We're going to be looking at some tactical gear. We're going to be looking at scenarios in our world. We're going to be comparing maybe some body armor, looking at body armor and things of that nature. And behind us right here, we've got our GOA, or our Gun Owners of America show coming up middle of August. And if you're out in Tennessee, Knoxville, Tennessee, come by that show and say hey to us. But this is our background here today, and we're just kind of giving you a sneak peek of that. But my name's Patrick.
And I'm Sean.
And what are we going to do today, Sean?
So we're talking about three things today. One specifically is going to be about the Trump assassination attempt. What body armor could be used in this scenario to prevent an injury from what happened, or what I or you would wear in that scenario. But after that, we're going to talk about the Agilite MD2 and the Blue Force Gear MTKN. We're going to be talking about those medical kits and how they compare to each other. We just shot some videos on them. You'll see those really soon. So we're going to compare those, and then afterwards we're going to answer a few questions from the comments and go over some comments, guys. So let's get right into it.
All right, so the first thing we want to discuss is the Trump assassination attempt. And from my understanding, Sean, I think it was about 130 to 150 yards away. Roughly, the shooter was that far away, and he was using AR-style rifle.
Correct, 5.56.
5.56. We don't know, right, if it was a green tip.
I'm unaware of that at this point.
Yeah.
I do not know.
Yeah, so assuming it was green tip, that is an available ammo.
Exactly.
Off the shelf. We would kind of assume that that's what it is. We kind of want to look and see what levels of body armor would potentially stop that. And then, what in that type of situation, what would you wear to an event like that?
Right.
And yeah, so we pulled out a couple of the, our, different items. One of our best sellers is the shirt, the 3A shirt. It's concealable. It is something you could wear to a rally like that.
Exactly.
Very viable option to wear to that type of rally. It's concealable. It hides away very well. But it's 3A. 3A is going to be the handgun, right? So.
Yep. So in that scenario, with somebody using a rifle, this is not going to be. It's not going to help. At 130 yards, 5.56 bullet still has a lot of velocity,
right?
And that's going to penetrate through level 3A armor. So as this would be a great option to bring to a rally because it is concealable, but in that scenario, it probably wouldn't be effective at stopping a threat like that.
And that's the thing, right? With body armor, you're looking at, you have to make that decision. Like, when I'm choosing body armor, what are my scenarios? Where am I going? What am I facing? What potential threat of caliber bullet am I facing? And we have to make that determination. And we may be right, we may be wrong. At least we got something in some cases. But
if I was going to that rally, that's exactly what I would wear.
I agree 100%.
I'm not going to walk up in there with a big old plate carrier on and
that's right.
Start.
That's exactly right.
Walking through there like I'm on a tactical mission. So
100%. And this is something that's going to go through metal detectors. It's going to be concealable, so nobody's going to know that you've got this on. I mean, unless somebody really is educated on this type of armor, nobody's going to know that at all. Right. Especially if you had some type of jacket on or a printed shirt, very concealable. So, yeah, I agree that that shirt would not have stopped it. In the scenario that the shooter had, that our YM2 max plate is that plate that would have stopped that bullet. You're looking at the green tip, 5.56 green tip, which we have to assume that's probably what was in that firearm.
Yeah, so this YM2 plate will stop a green tip 5.56 round at 3,100 feet per second, which, at 130 yards, that bullet's still traveling pretty quickly in that 3,000 feet per second range. And so that plate right there is what would actually stop that threat. But again, to be able to carry that, you're not going to carry that plate there. It's going to be more so of a plate carrier type thing. So the reality of anybody having that on besides security or Secret Service isn't,
isn't very isn't likely, but you could say you could put that in a backpack.
Definitely.
We do have, a plate that is our YM4 plate. That's it's a little thinner than this, a little lighter weight, that is made for backpack 4, 5, 5, 6. So that would be a scenario, whether you want to carry a backpack, and then, you'd have to be able to put it on right over top of you when that action starts, when that firing starts. So obviously, if you didn't have it on previously and you were that person behind Trump, then that's unfortunate that's where that is. But
yeah, but if I'm just a bystander, at a rally, that could be something I would consider, is just having a larger rifle plate carried in a backpack. And, it might not save you in every scenario, obviously, but if you hear some gunshots ring off, throw that backpack around your front and start booking it out of there.
it is unfortunate that in our world today that we have to talk about this.
Yeah.
If I would have thought I would be in a podcast talking about, people firing bullets, wherever in this scenario at a rally, at a political rally, but, even at schools and things of that nature where unfortunately there's active shooters. So yeah, it is unfortunate, but at this day and time, it's where we are. So, to recap, you've got the shirt that's going to stop your handgun threats. Mm-hmm. So I do like this for political rallies because it is a high chance that somebody's going to have potentially a handgun. Mm-hmm. And then of course we know the backpack armor or, an armor that could go potentially in a backpack. Otherwise, like you said, you're not going to wear, we're not going to wear a carrier, a plate carrier to something like that.
Yeah. If I was attending any kind of rally or anything like that, the concealed shirt's probably what I'm going for as just a bystander in that situation, just because concealed, low profile, nobody's really going to know I have it on. But what I would be curious about, if putting myself in Trump's position, if I were Trump, what would I wear in that scenario? And I'm thinking we have our YM4 plate,
right,
and then I would have a low profile carrier,
right,
and put that YM4 plate in there. Probably couldn't tell you had it on over that suit and stuff, and that's going to stop a green tip 5.56 threat. So.
Right, and you're looking at 1/4 inch nominal thickness in that plate. It is made specifically for active shooters.
Exactly.
It has less polyethylene in the back, so it makes it thinner than the YM2. It's about half the thickness of that, and it is strictly made for AR, AK, and pistol rounds. So that is probably the best scenario, is to use the low profile with the YM4s in it. Agreed.
And obviously, that's only going to give you heart and lung protection. But
right.
It's it's what you can do.
That's exactly right.
You can't just be wearing a helmet on stage all the time.
Right. So I think in conclusion to this first segment here, people wonder, why would you wear body armor? We hear that a lot, right? Mm-hmm. We have a lot of people that will comment that or talk to us individually in our own lives. Why do you wear body armor? This is a scenario.
Exactly.
This is a perfect scenario of why in a crowd or as a speaker, why, you would want something like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, pivoting over to our next topic, we're going to talk about the MD2. So we literally just got through filming the MD2 and the MTKN.
Yep.
And so I took on the Agilite side with the MD2, and Sean got the MTKN, and I think we both learned a lot with,
that's the
with
truth.
those. And let's pull those up here and take a look at those. Put those up here on the table. Sean's side, my side.
Yeah. So, honestly, just first off, I like to stay up to date with what we sell and stuff, but a lot of this medical gear is somewhat new to me, and I'm trying to figure it out slowly but surely. And first of all, I would have never thought all this gear could fit into such a small pack, and getting hands on and actually fitting it in there myself, it's really impressive. It also, if I ever had to use this, gosh, this would come in so handy just because of how small it is. And Yeah, I would 100% recommend carrying this for a gunshot wound type thing.
Well, this is a great size. You know, both of these, they're very similar products.
Yeah.
And both of these have very similar contents, and they're just the right size. You can get different ones that are smaller. They make them, especially Blue Force makes a smaller one,
Yeah.
a Boo Boo kit, and then they make larger ones.
Exactly.
And so this is a good size, especially for like a belt or on your plate carrier. I think either one of these work well with the size that they are.
Yeah.
But what do you think were some positives to the MTKN when you did that?
Well, you were talking about putting it on a belt. My first thought with the MTKN is if you want to run it on a belt, you have to get a belt-specific MTKN.
Yeah.
If you want to run it on a plate carrier, you have to get a Molly-specific one. So that's like a downside, I feel like. You have to get either or, as opposed to the Agilite one there. It's the best of both worlds. You have belt, Molly, all in one. That's a great option, in my opinion.
Well, if we check
for
off,
that.
if we check off pros and cons, definitely you'd have to give the upper hand to Agilite on that aspect of having the belt loop
Yeah.
and the Molly combo, because otherwise you have to choose with Blue Force. You know, I think one of the positives on Blue Force, made in USA.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, that's solid. It's military gear, military quality gear. The Agilite, hey, you know, nothing down on Agilite for it. Made in, just lost
Vietnam.
it. Vietnam, made in Vietnam. 90% of their products are made in Vietnam. Probably about 10% made in Israel. So,
Yeah.
still great quality. But when you're made in USA, that does.
Yeah. But the most important part of it is the North American Rescue, where both of them have the North American
Correct.
Rescue contents, if you're getting the contents from Blue Force Gear or Agilite.
Yeah, for sure, guys. Do not skimp on, you know, you can buy stuff, and I'm not going to say where you can buy it. You can buy it online anywhere, but you can buy cheap stuff, and you can buy cheap tourniquets. I've seen places where you can buy, you know, a pack of 6 tourniquets for $10 or something. And don't do that. Don't buy it. Buy the right stuff.
This is life-saving stuff here.
Yeah, life-saving stuff. Don't trust your life with, you know, with cheap stuff. So the North American Rescue definitely is the way to go.
Yeah.
And both of these kits from both vendors have that North American Rescue. So that's definitely a positive for each one.
Yeah.
I think they both have the pulls on each side, very similar design.
Yeah.
So I do like that aspect. What do you think about the Velcro in that?
Yeah, so this one has a Velcro strip on the back that Velcros on the inside when you put the case over it. It's a cool feature because it keeps it obviously in there and not falling out if you're running, but actually having to stuff this into the sleeve, that Velcro gets in the way a little bit. So,
And a little initial thing there, huh? That was a little bump in the road.
yeah, it's I don't know. I like the idea of it, but it seemed to hurt me when I was putting it in. It gave me some struggle there. So, as opposed to Agilite, you don't have any of that. It actually Velcros on
Both ends.
the ends on the outside of the carrier itself, so you don't have to worry about Velcro on the inside.
I will have to say on one of the things I really like, again, about the Agilite is now Blue Force offers the tourniquet holder.
Right.
You can purchase that tourniquet holder that goes onto that pouch. But again, it's a separate item.
Yeah.
Agilite offers the incorporated, and I don't have my belt here, but the outer portion has that built-in tourniquet
Yep.
holder or bungee.
Yep. It's got a bungee for the tourniquet, and it has a little slot in the front with a Velcro strap for shears.
Yeah.
Whereas opposed to this, does not have a tourniquet bungee or a place to put your shears.
Yeah, I did make a comment on the MD2 when I did that video. because I thought it was funny. There was a guy that commented on this kind of about, he was critical about the fact that it didn't hold his Leatherman
The shear.
IFAC shears.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, yeah, we can say that is a negative.
Yeah.
Fair enough. If you want to critique
point.
that is a critique. It will not hold the Leatherman shears. But you know what? Leatherman makes a carrier holster that comes with, specially made for that. And so, you know, you could say that's a negative, but at least they do have something there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And when you're in an emergency, if you've got those kind of inexpensive, but they work.
Yeah.
The IFAC shears work.
And we were talking about having quality stuff in your kit.
Right.
But at the end of the day, however much a Leatherman shear is, it's scissors. I mean,
I would have to agree with that.
Not my biggest worry on a IFAC kit.
Yeah, but if you got that Leatherman, that's great. That's an awesome thing. Hey, man, we love knives.
Yep.
You know, and I love good quality. Like you said, we're pushing good quality stuff. So kudos if you got that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But you know, they give you the spot for the simple shears. Yeah. If you're in a medical situation, you're going to cut some gauze and some tape and some bandage and, you know, be done with it.
Yeah,
but
probably drop them on the ground and never go back to them.
Right.
So yeah, that's actually a really good transition to our last little piece we want to talk about here is going over some comments. First things first, want to call out a little funny comment we had the other day. I got these comments pulled up here.
And we do look over these and do read them. So thank you guys for commenting.
Thank you so much for commenting. Even the mean ones are so funny. I love it. He says on the K19 review video, he says, "Garbage, doesn't even take side plates, shaking my head." So I thought that was absolutely hilarious.
Well,
because we have a whole video regarding how side plates go on to the K19. Yeah, you don't have side plates on that kit you were reviewing, but just do your research, man.
So, I mean, the first thing I think of is before you say, you know, don't say garbage.
Yeah.
You know, in the very first thing you say is garbage, and then you say something that's not even true. Right. So, you know, you need to do your research. Hey, we're not saying that the thing that everything we've got here and everything we video about is the best in the world. There's going to be some positives and some negatives about it, right? Yeah. We know we carry great products, but they all have their pluses and minuses to them. Yeah. So if you do see some pluses and minuses to them, comment like you're doing.
Yeah, we'd love to hear what you think about the products, but
just make sure it's factual, right?
Starting it out with garbage, I'm not going to take it seriously.
But anyway, that's kind of a funny one. But
yeah, just wanted to talk about that one. But also, shout out to Isaac Allred out there. He said, "This Sean guy gets me sweating." Hey, thanks, man.
Oh,
love you,
goodness.
Dude. But one serious thing I want to talk about, a comment we had. This guy asks, besides being more slim, is there any benefit from the Micromap over the AMAP 3 Assault Pack?
So the number one thing that I think of in that is the basics of it is that the Micromap is permanent, basically. It's Correct. Molly's own.
Yep.
And the AMAP 3 Assault Pack is able to go on off and on. So you could carry it in your truck or vehicle and carry it with you, take the straps off and put it, you know, on your carrier as whatever for bug out or moving here from here to there. That's the number one thing I think of in that.
Yeah. Well, I wrote back to him. I wouldn't necessarily say either one's better than the other. Right. There's no benefit per se to having one over the other. It just depends on what your use case is for it. The Micromap's significantly more low profile. Right. So that's going to be your major advantage. Correct. If you want something low profile, the Micromap is the one for you. And it's permanent, so it mollies on. Versus the AMAP 3 is not a permanent option. It isn't low profile, which is a good thing for some people. You can carry it in your truck you can have whatever you need in it, and then you can throw it on the back of your plate carrier and go. So it just depends.
Yeah, in a nutshell, they both do the same thing. They both will attach to your plate carrier, to the back, so that you can be mobile. They both have a hydration bladder area. They both will carry your helmet.
Yep.
The micro map I do like. It's got a beaver tail.
The beaver tail.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So if you had a longer, style weapon that you wanted to go down there, or any type of tools or
like
things,
bolt
cutters,
cutters,
things like that. So that's pretty cool. So again, it's lower profile. I would say people will. I'll have comments a lot of times of people will see that the AMAP 3 and say, "Oh, that's just too big for me."
Right.
I do have those comments. So just like you said, I think the low profile on the micro map is its advantage.
Yeah. I run the micro map on my K0, and that's why I like it, is because it is so low profile. Just really something to have on there so I can have the hydration bladder. And then, if I throw a helmet in it or throw some ammo in it, that's just some pluses. But really, it's just a good thing to have a hydration bladder in.
Yep.
Super low profile.
Cool.
Doesn't add too much bulk to it. But yeah, so
Very good.
that's the comments for the day. And so I think
Yeah.
we touched on some good topics.
Yes. Guys, appreciate you tuning in to us and checking us out. We're excited to have this, and we're excited for you to be here with us. Do comment below. Let us know if you like this longer form YouTube podcast style thing that we're doing, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah. If you guys like it, we'll keep doing it. We'll keep putting it out, and you can definitely rest assured we're going to keep doing product reviews. So stay tuned, everybody.